All right. Well, with that, we are live on Amazon, and we'll just keep it easy today. Lillian was going to join us, but she is. That was the great thing about doing live broadcasts. You just got to be flexible, and you never know what's going to happen. She had got called away, so it is Travis and I this morning. And Travis, it's officially now summer. Here in the Northwest, we had our first 80-degree day yesterday, but it's been full on summer for you already.
That is, yeah, I have to laugh when you say that. We had our first full summer of 80. Yeah, it was a cool 99 yesterday with a heat index of 105.
Oh my word!
And I'm telling you, Scott, it is I mean, whatever side of the fence of global warming, you land on, and I'm still not 100% convinced either way. But I do know one thing: it is hot. I mean, it's the hottest summer on record around here. So
Wow.
uh,
Yeah,
rough,
it's
rough.
very different this side of the Mississippi. We don't have the humidity, so
Yeah. The one good thing that we've had for yesterday, it was up a little bit, but our humidity's been down a little bit this week, so that makes it a lot more tolerable.
yeah.
You know,
Yep. Well, I was here. We've got here in the carousel. We've got the ChordBuddy podcast, and I'll just say thank you to Robin, Teresa, and Steve for following us here. I sure appreciate that. And I just highlighted the podcast because I was listening to a recent episode, and Goodson, your son, was gone for a week. I know the two of you hang out a lot, but he's back from his trip.
he's back, and we had his 12th birthday party Tuesday. Uh, and his birthday was Tuesdays, and that's the day we had the party. And he invited some friends over, and his aunt Kelly, my wife's sister, uh, adopted sister, or my wife was adopted by her family. She came down and surprised him from Kansas City, Missouri.
Oh, there you go.
Drove down and
Uh-huh.
surprised him, and so that was fun. And then my wife and her sister is going to meet some of their high school friends down in Orange Beach and stay till Sunday. They're leaving, should be leaving about now. So
Well, I just recommend everybody get into the podcast and subscribe to that. Keep up on the happenings. And one of the things you'll find out is all about the Chord Buddy and how you can learn to play guitar. It is the world's greatest guitar learning system. But you can also find out things like Goodson's birthday. And if you ever get down to Dothan, Alabama, I guarantee you're going to hear about some of the best restaurants in the area there because everyone knows Travis at the best restaurants.
yeah, I saw someone the other day that's the manager of Hunt Seafood, and she told me, she said, she's such a huge fan of the podcast, listen to it, and she said it's always entertaining, and she thanked me. She said, and thank you for when you bring up hunts. We've had several people mention to us that they came to hunts because you mentioned it on your podcast. So I said,
Well,
wow,
advertising
didn't
pays.
know I had that sort of influence, but
Well,
uh,
there you
but
go.
but
There's
you're
Travis
welcome.
the influencer.
Yeah.
Um, you know, it's summer. We were just talking about summer and camping, and I can't think of something better than sitting around the campfire and pulling out your guitar and being able to sing some old camp songs, things those songs that we all grew up with. And but some people, it's just most people that want to learn guitar just don't get around to it, or they try it and it just doesn't work for them.
Yeah, well, hey Scott, listen. As a music instructor for almost for 45 years, uh, guitar's not easy. I mean, it looks
Yeah.
easy, it looks fun, and it is fun, but
Hmm.
it is not a fun and easy thing for most people. In fact, statistically, 70%, 7 out of 10,
Wow.
will try to play guitar and will quit and give up on it within the first 60 days of trying to learn. And in the teaching industry, we call that first 60 days the 2 month hump.
The 2 month
And the
hump. Yeah.
goal is to get that student over that 2 month hump, which is the time period when muscle memory is not working, hand eye coordination isn't working, calluses hadn't formed on the end of your fingers.
Mm,
So it hurts your fingers and it just gets overwhelmingly frustrating and they quit. I've
yeah.
seen it, Scott, hundreds, if not thousands of times
Mm-hmm.
when the kid just doesn't show up for the next lesson and I'll call and I'll go, hey, just checking on you and see if you're sitting. No, I'm quitting. I'm fed up with it. You know.
Yeah. Well, it's the one thing with piano. I've never seen anyone with calluses on their fingers,
Yeah. Yeah. It
and
doesn't.
it is painful.
Oh yeah. Yeah. Hey, listen. I've been playing guitar since I was 9, and I'm
Yeah.
60. And if I go, and this just happened, if I go 2 or 3 weeks and don't play as much as I need to,
Mm-hmm.
like we had a gig Saturday night, my fingers were killing me at the end of the gig. And
Yeah.
I've been playing since I was 9, but I had gone 2 or 3 weeks and not played,
Mm-hmm.
and so you start losing those calluses if you don't play all the time.
Yeah.
So hey, I even a player of my experience, I still experience that from time to time.
Yeah. Well, we've got highlighted here in the carousel. There's the whole combo pack. There's the Perry guitar. You got the ChordBuddy learning system, which has the ChordBuddy device, which is built right there in Dothan, Alabama. And then you've got the songbooks and the lesson books, and those are printed right there, just not very far from the plant where you're sitting right now.
Yes, 100% U.S. made. Every part of the ChordBuddy learning system is American made, made by human hands.
Yeah.
No, it's fully assembled and everything. Right here in our right outside, within 20 feet of my door, is the
Hmm.
assembly area, uh, and we're proud of it, Scott. We're proud to
Yeah.
say American made.
And people can see in the carousel, there's the Shark Tank episode, season 3, episode 3, where you came and you demonstrated the Chord Buddy, and of course, Mr. Wonderful, he is a guitar player, and he was skeptical, to say it politely, about the Chord
Well,
Buddy.
what he was skeptical of, I mean, he saw that it worked, but he was skeptical that it was a legitimate teaching system. That's what he didn't understand. And in fact, he even said something to the effect that, "Hey, you're just pushing buttons. How does that even teach you to play?"
Yeah.
And in which that was the question I was waiting on. That was the question I needed him to ask me so that I could say, "Well, uh,
Yeah,
it,
we'll have you
it,
demonstrate that here.
yeah, as always, check your tuning." And he said, "So how's that even? You're just pressing buttons. How does that even teach you to learn?" And I said, "Oh, I'm so glad you asked, because it would be a complete cheater if it didn't do this and this pull out, and you actually start learning the chords one at the time, like training wheels are for a bicycle." And the whole thing changed. He's Then he was on board. Then he loved it, and that was the validation that I needed for all the other sharks then to start a frenzy over wanting to be involved with Chord Buddy.
Yep. Yep. You drop the little bit of chum there in the water and got them
Yeah,
going.
well, and here's the thing. I see Kevin O'Leary, Mr. Wonderful. He's the only guitar player on the whole panel.
Hmm.
So anything that's ever guitar oriented or ukulele or anything musical, they look to him for validation. So I knew, although I didn't want him as a partner, I
Hmm.
wanted either Robert or Mark or Barbara. Uh, but I knew I had to convince him first that this was a worthy product, and that's what I was able to end up doing.
Yeah. Well, that's people can watch that very episode. And Robert Herjavec, who wanted to play guitar, he was probably one of those 70%. Is he's certainly rich enough to get any guitar he wants and hire teachers, but he wasn't a guitar player. But he played a song right there on television, right in the
Yeah,
studio of Shark Tank.
yes, he did. Speaking of campfire songs, this this just popped in my mind because uh, a video came up on my Facebook page. You know how it'll come up of 7 years ago, 5 years
Oh
ago, or
yeah,
whatever.
memories.
And so this video came up on of me and Ely and Goodson playing the ChordBuddy, and I was trying to teach Ely to play. This was back when she was about 6 years old, and Goodson was about 4. But this is the song that they wanted to learn. This little light of mine, I'm gonna let it shine. This little light of mine, I'm gonna let it shine. This little light of mine, I'm gonna let it shine, let it shine, let it shine, let it shine.
Oh, that is great.
Yeah,
That's so much fun.
and
And
and I wanted to demonstrate. I'm going to do it one more time. I'm going to start off with the quarter strum. This little light. I'm going to go to the alternating pick strum or the pick strum, and then I'm going to end up with the pop strum. So I want to use all.
mm-hmm.
I won't use the 3/4 strum because this is a 4/4 timing, but I'm going to use all the the strumming methods that we teach on our video. And so just so you can see the difference of each one. And I'll tell you which one I'm doing. So starting with the quarter strum, this little light of mine, I'm gonna let it shine. Alternating, this little light of mine, I'm gonna let it shine. This little light of mine, pop strum, I'm gonna let it shine, let it shine, let it shine, let it shine. So every one of those strum patterns there worked with the song, but all three of them changed up the song a little bit. You know,
Mm-hmm. Mm-hmm.
at the end, it was a little bit more happy, poppy sounding. At the beginning, it was a little more simple, and then we go to the we give it a little more country flair,
Mm-hmm.
if you will.
Yeah. Yeah, and that's one of the beautiful things about the learning system is people get the chord buddy, put it on their guitar, either buy the combo or get if you have a guitar already, then you can put the chord buddy on. And if you ever have any questions about your guitar, take a picture and email it, Travis at chordbuddy.com, and make sure you get the right fit on there. Uh, but there's a lot going on, and if you when you get the chord buddy, put on your guitar, the lessons they're right on the website. You can go to the website and get those. There's an app that you can download, and it's got videos. And you start with all the strums, and that's not the place where most people think that they would start playing. They think they would start playing with their finger up on the strings, but it really is the strum that makes a huge difference.
Yes, big time. And excuse me, if I'm even on doing Amazon Live, I have to do some customer service email follow up. So
And I'll just tell people that everyone that buys Chord Buddy, that you get direct access to Travis. He's sending out emails and he responds to those as you see. Hey, Jeff in Yorktown, Virginia says they've got the humidity too. On a trumpet, I play the singing notes. Guitar is completely different. And he's got talking about the songbook, volume 3, page 47, How to Save a Life. And he responds to those. And so, yeah, we've got also in the carousel a lot of songbooks. So not only do you get over 100 songs with the songbook that comes with the ChordBuddy, but there are other songbooks that you can get perfect for everybody. There's pop songs, there's old hymns, and when Christmas comes along, you can get the Christmas songbook and get ready to go Christmas caroling. In fact, I know we're a long way. We're about as far from Christmas as you can get. But we had a great story about a man that had a guitar, I think, got the ChordBuddy, and was able to go Christmas caroling with his daughter in their neighborhood,
That was
having
Chase,
never
I
played
believe.
guitar.
Wasn't that Chase?
Yeah. Mm-hmm.
Yeah.
Yep.
He actually sent video of them caroling. I want to think they actually went as far as to get a horse and wagon to pull them while they caroled. Yeah.
And I think they're in Southern California, so that would have been a great.
Yeah, he sent a video of
time
that,
for 'em.
and I tell you what, he loves ChordBuddy.
Yeah. Yep. Yeah, it's a lot of fun to be able to play music, just to be able to grab that guitar, and just that song you're playing, "Little Light of Mine." A lot of people can sing it, and you could sit around the campfire, but some people are a little bit, I'll say, a little squeamish about singing in public. But if you put an instrument to it, then they can sing along a whole lot easier.
Oh yeah, yeah. Well, just yesterday, I was out. Brady was in the Horseshoe printing some shipping labels, and a guy came in, just walked in off the street. We're not a retail. This is a manufacturing and assembly place, but people will still see the ChordBuddy, sign on the building, and they'll come in. And so I asked him. I said, "Yeah, can I help you?" And he said, "Well," he said, "I've heard about this. I've seen it on Amazon. I've seen it on Facebook. And he said, my wife, we were going by, and she says, 'Hey, that's where ChordBuddy is made.'" And he said, "We turned around, went down to the church where I go to, Bethel, and turned around, and they came back up." And he says, "I just want to see if I can do this." And I said, "Well, I'm going to promise you can before you even try it." He goes, "Oh, you don't know me." I said, "Listen, I've never lost a bet. I've never in the past 13 years has there been a person that I haven't been able to have playing a song within seconds, literally seconds of holding it." So put it in his hand. I told him, I said, "Now listen, I just want you to strum with as I clap, you strum along with me." And we did a Christmas song, Rudolph the Red-Nosed Reindeer. We did Rudolph the Red-Nosed Reindeer, and his timing was right on with me, and was perfect. And so he ended up not buying one, but getting two.
Well, and I'll recommend that to people. Is you might have multiple guitars in the house, and also the ChordBuddy will work on electric guitars. So if you
Yes.
have an electric guitar, you got if you have a 1963 Stratocaster under the bed, go ahead, give it a shot.
If you have a 63 Stratocaster on the bed, call me, and I'll swap you one of my guitars for that.
There you go. There you go. We'll get you a new one. None of that
Yeah,
old stuff.
you don't want that old 63 Strat. Yeah, that old antique.
That's right. It's all
Yes,
beat
as
up,
long
scratched.
as it is a full scale
Yeah.
guitar. And so,
Hmm.
how do we know if it's a full scale? Well, you would measure from the nut, which is me. So here's how easy it is to come off. It literally just pops off. Boom, it's off. But a little education on guitar parts here. This little bone colored and it on higher end guitars, it will be actual bone.
Mm-hmm.
Uh, on mid range and cheaper guitars, it will be a type of plastic. But this is called the nut. And so if you measure from the nut to the one, two, third fret. So these things, these metal things here are called frets. Measure from the nut to the one, two, three, third fret. Typically, there'll be a dot right there. So to the fret with the dot just above it, it should be 4 inches. 4 inches. If it is 4 inches, then that means you have a full scale guitar, and most electrics, most acoustics are. But if it measures 3.5, then you have a short scale guitar, and that is considered a 3/4 size guitar. Now, here's what's weird about 3/4 size. There are some 39-inch 3/4 size that are full scale, but the body is 3/4 size, which is
Oh,
what
mm-hmm. Mm-hmm.
our Perry youth guitars are. The body is 3/4 size, but the neck is full scale. So, and a lot of ladies like, and younger people like the youth guitar because the body is a lot smaller.
Yeah, I just highlighted that in the carousel so people can take a look. And yeah, it's just it's a little bit easier under your armpit.
Yeah, yeah,
You got,
easier to handle. It's cut
mm-hmm.
deeper here, and it's cut deeper here, and so
Mm-hmm.
they're able to handle it a little better. But anyway, that's how you determine if your guitar will work. Most 3/4 size, it will not though. So that's why.
Mm-hmm.
But always measure from the nut to the third fret, and if it's 4 inches, we're good. Then
Yeah.
we also
Mm-hmm.
make well, there's also classical. We don't have those on Amazon, but we do make a classical ChordBuddy.
Yeah, and those are just to clarify for folks. You'll usually be able to tell that it's a classical guitar because the head where you tune it has got slots in it, and the strings will look like fishing line
Yeah, that
instead of
I
metal.
can demonstrate that.
And so if you have a guitar, check it, measure it, 4 inches from the nut to the third fret. There you go. That is a classical guitar right there.
Yeah, and these strings here, the bottom three, uh, they are what he said looks like fishing line. They're nylon. They're not metal. And then these are metal. And these necks are 2 inches wide. So and the chord buddy that is sold on Amazon will not fit these. So if you have a guitar that's like this, uh, you can't get that on Amazon.
Yeah. So I'd say go ahead and get the combo. The combo is such a great deal because not only do you get the chord buddy, but you also get the picks and a tuner and a guitar that you designed.
Yeah, yeah, yeah. Actually, in 2014, I think, or
Mm-hmm.
these are 2014 or 15, uh, when we first came out with the Perry line of guitars, I entered them. We go to our industry trade show. It's called
Mm-hmm.
NAMM, NAMM.
Yep. National
In fact,
Association of Music Merchants. Yep.
yep. Yep. In fact, all of our products, every product we've come out with, has won at the show. And that year, my guitar won most bang for the buck, which
Yep.
meaning that for value versus quality, mine was the best.
Yeah.
And I still believe it is. I think for the value of what you're spending versus what you're getting,
Mm-hmm.
Perry guitars are still the top of the line.
Yeah, when you want to get into it, when you want to start playing music, you want to start with an entry level guitar, like one of the Perry guitars. And I say entry level, not cheap. There are cheap guitars out there that even cost the same as the Perry guitar, but they don't stay in tune. The necks will be warped. There's a lot of problems that happen when you buy a really cheap guitar.
Yeah.
So you want to buy an entry level guitar like the Perry guitar. Plays good, sounds really good, right out of the box. In fact, every one of those guitars that gets shipped, you personally set those up.
Hmm. Yep. Me and my daughter Brady, she unpacks them, uh, and gets them ready for me to set up. Then I tune them, adjust the necks if they need adjusting, do any work needs to be done on it, and hand them back. And she packs them back up. We actually put a little piece of paper saying, hey, that this guitar was actually hand adjusted by me.
Yeah.
So,
And
uh,
so,
and speaking of cheap guitars, and I'm not talking price cheap, I'm talking about quality cheap.
yeah.
Uh, all the time, Scott, I get people say, "Hey, I bought ChordBuddy off Amazon, and it's not working right on my guitar, so something's wrong with your ChordBuddy." Well, come to
Hmm.
find out, their guitar is so cheap that it just ChordBuddy wouldn't work on it,
Right.
and there's certain brand names. If you want to email me, feel free to, and I'll tell you what to steer away from. Uh, but there's a couple of brands out there that how they're in business is beyond me.
Well, I'll just remind everyone, Travis at chordbuddy.com. And any questions? And in fact, if you know, we're here, as Travis says, we are here every Thursday at 9 a.m. Central Time, except when we're not.
Um,
Tony, we sure appreciate that Tony and Jeff are so loyal to be here. Uh, Hank Thompson songs. Travis, any Hank Thompson
what is some of
songs?
Hank Thompson's hits?
I can't think of
I can see
any
the
Tony can put
album
one in there.
that my daddy had of Hank Thompson that had all the beer cans on it. Uh, let me look him up and see what I can maybe do for next week. Hank Thompson.
Yeah, that'd be great. We'll load those in. But there is a ton of just a ton of books. As I mentioned, there's the podcast. There's the episode on Shark Tank, which I remember watching that when it first broadcast, and that was a lot of fun. And so people can watch that live or watch that they can listen to the podcast, but they can tune in and watch us live
Thompson.
here, and check these out. Let's
Thompson.
see, what was it? Oh, Jeff says my first guitar was a Western Auto. Well, I remember Western Auto. He bought it in 1968. It was impossible to play. Um,
Six Pack to Go. That was the name of that album, and it had a six pack of beer on the album cover.
she says, and Honky Tonk Girl is Tony says so.
He had a
Well, this will
lot
be
of them.
fun. We'll maybe we can see. This is the great thing. We do have a Facebook group, and it's called Striking a Chord, and people can join that. And there's thousands of people in there sharing songs with each other. So not every song is written in a key that can be directly played in ChordBuddy, but a lot of people transpose those. That is, take it from the key that it was written in into a key that you can play with play the song using ChordBuddy, and that is a great place to go and share songs. A lot of people write songs and share those there as well. So that's a great place to go. Travis, I know we were talking about the podcast. Are you recording another episode today?
We are. Yep. Uh,
All right.
yep. David will be here any minute to set up the studio.
And I know that Brady has been on there. You mentioned Brady earlier. That she's your oldest daughter,
Hmm.
and one of the reasons why ChordBuddy is in existence.
Uh, the reason, the reason.
And so I encourage people tune in, listen to the podcast, and you can go back and you can hear the full story of how the ChordBuddy came to be an overnight success over after about 30 years.
That's right. All right, Scott. I
Well, Travis,
appreciate it, and I'll
it's
see you
always
next
fun.
Thursday.
Yeah, it's always fun. I'm gonna put up the video just to show people how this works. But Travis, thanks again for joining here, and hopefully Lillian will be able to join us again next week.
Hopefully.
And it's always fun to hear from her. And she said last week that she was maybe going to write a song about you or for you.
Well,
So we'll
that's a little
see.
scary. That'll be interesting.
Yeah. All
All
right.
right.
Well, with
Adios.
that, I'm going to put this video up, and we will be back next week.
Well, all right, guys. This is a point in the system of ChordBuddy where, as my daddy would say, the rubber hits the road. Uh, Up to this point, we've been focusing on right hand rhythm, timing, different strum patterns. We've learned 4 different strum patterns. We've been focusing on learning some songs, getting some finger dexterity going. Now it is the time to start removing these tabs and start making the chords on your own. This is an exciting time, and I'm glad that we're here. All right, so what we're going to do first is how do we remove the D tab? All right, the best way to do it, and I'm going to keep this at an angle for you to see it best. You may want to lay it down in your lap, but I'm going to keep it up. What you want to do, you want to press the blue one down so you get it out of the way, okay? Now, this is the way to take it off with it on the guitar. From the factory, these things are in there pretty tight, so you have to pull it pretty hard, okay? So, but you're not going to break it, so don't worry about that. So push the blue one down to get it out of the way. Lift up slightly on the red tab and give it a pull. And there you are. Now it's out. So let's go over how to make the D chord. So you want to refer back to your book, and there is a diagram there of how to make the D chord. There's a hump right here. Okay, this hump is here for a reason. That is so that you can get your index finger under the hump and it falls perfectly onto the G string. Okay, that gives you enough room to get to your others. See that right there? So, to make the D chord first, put your index finger on the hump and then just slide it off and it will fall directly on to the G string. Then place your middle finger on the 2nd fret, 1st string, your your ring finger on the 3rd fret, 2nd string, and then you strum from 4 down. That is your D chord.